Hi. Well, it's another beautiful day out there. And today I want to talk about addiction. Now, what is addiction? Well, addiction is about trying to fill the hole. Okay? And whether you're addicted to eating or gambling or making money, whatever you're addicted to, well, it doesn't matter what it is, or drugs, which is the main thing, I guess, that people talk about when they talk about addictions. Um, it really doesn't matter because what's going on is you're trying to fill the hole. And what is the hole? Well, the hole is left over from when you were with God and with your mom. When you were with God, you were complete, okay? You're part of God, okay? And when you were with your mom, when you were in your mom's stomach, you were part of her. You were complete, okay? And for whatever reason, when we left God and went into our mom, okay, we felt separation, okay? And then when we got born, we felt even more separation. And that's the real problem, okay? Now, this addiction that we have, okay, is really a way to try and make ourselves feel better about the fact that we're not complete, okay? And why are we not complete? Because we don't have God around us or a mom around us, either one, okay? Now, this hole, okay, is really a feeling, okay, not an emotion, but a feeling that we are not all we should be, okay? And, I mean, I don't know if you've experienced this yourself, but generally speaking, it's kind of a nagging sensation that you need something. And you don't know what that something is, but you know you need it. Now, it depends on how you brought up and whether or not you had a great relationship with your mom, and so on and so forth. But in filling this hole, which can never be filled, you know, you can't fill the hole because it's impossible. You can't fill it with money, you can't fill it with food, you can't fill it with drugs, you can't fill it with gambling, you can't fill it with anything because really there isn't a hole. And we think there is because that's just a way for us to say things. Okay? And what there is a separation. And we feel the separation every day. We're brought up to believe that we're a person, and a person is alone. A person is by himself or herself, okay? And that aloneness is the whole, okay? But the fact is, that's an illusion, okay? We are not by ourselves, okay? We are with God, but we just think we're not, you know? So, how do we get rid of this illusion of feeling like we're not with God? Well, for one thing, we need to accept what is. I know I say that a lot, and maybe you think I say it too much. Maybe I do. But the only way to get free of an addiction, which really is something in the mind, okay? Any addiction can be overcome physically, okay? If you're on heroin or meth or whatever you're on, you can get rid of it because you simply don't take it, okay? And whether it's cigarettes or something else, you get this feeling, okay, that you need it, but you can also not take it, okay. You can stop yourself, or you can have somebody else stop you. You can go to rehab, you can get no treatment program, okay. But really, none of that is going to work because the hole is still there. You're still alone. You still think that you're one person. And that's not going to change because you go to a treatment program. It's not going to change because your parents don't want you to do drugs anymore. It's not going to change because of anything. Except one thing, and that is accepting what is. That is what is going to change. Now, I'm not saying that you're wrong or that you're doing the wrong thing or anything like that. You're simply caught in an illusion. And that illusion is that you're alone. You're not alone. God is with you. You are a soul, and God is with that soul. There's a connection to God with that soul. Okay? Now, if your mom, and that's the reason that you're having this problem because your mom's not around anymore, or because she didn't love you, whatever it is, okay? That's just a part of it. Really, you're missing God. And I'm not trying to say that you should go to church or anything like that. I'm saying that you should accept what is. God is with you. God is always with you. There's never a time when God is not right there. I mean, I understand, okay? Believe me, I was addicted to a lot of things. Cigarettes, gambling, drugs, okay? But awakening took that stuff away. I didn't have to do it anymore. Anyway, the point is that you need to accept what is. And what is you are not alone. Now, we as humans get stuck into what's called a mind train. At least that's what my word for it, a phrase. And the mind train is, I need this. I have to have this. If I don't have this, I'm not complete. And it goes round and around inside your mind. And it's reinforced by your ego, and basically, it's kind of a sick, vicious circle. Okay? But the fact is, you don't need meth or heroin or whatever it is you're addicted to, or cigarettes, or gambling, or making money, or simply being with another person. Okay? You don't need any of that. I mean, it's great to be with other people. I love people. People are great. No question about it. But you don't need it. Okay? Because you have God inside you. God is within you. He's right here. Okay? There's something called the formless dimension, and God is in there. Okay? And you can access this formless. Well, I've already told you how to access the formless dimension. But anyway, so how do you escape from this mind train? By accepting who you are. I know it's hard to accept that you're not a person. You've been brought up your whole life to think you are a person, and it's hard. It's very difficult to realize who you really are. But until you do that, you're going to be stuck. Okay? And I feel for you on that sort of thing. And so, how do we get unstuck? We get unstuck by saying, I am not a person. I am a soul. Now, you may not believe that at first or even think it's real. You may think it's just something I say. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? I mean, I'm not saying that I'm right about everything, but I have felt my own soulness, okay? And I have felt God, okay? So therefore I can say this stuff. Whether or not it's actually going to do you any good is whether or not you're going to believe it, okay? And that's really what all this is all about, belief, okay? I know it's hard to believe things that other people tell you because it's just a hard thing. But if you can just accept what is, accept that you are not a person, then that addiction will vanish, okay? You don't need drugs, you don't need gambling, you don't need food, well, you have to have food, but not so much of it. You don't need all these other things because you have a soul. You are that soul, okay? And that soul is connected to God. God is right there with you. Like that old saying, about the footprints on the beach, and the guy says, "Hey, God, how come there's only one set of footprints?" Well, and the guy says, "Well, that's when I was carrying you." But the point is, God is there with you, okay? And when I say God, I mean the source, okay? I don't know if there's a God. I don't know if there is heaven. I don't know any of that stuff, okay? But I do know that there is something, and I've touched and felt that something, okay? And you can too, by breathing. Breathing is so great because you're doing it anyway. It's going on all the time, okay? And if you just focus on that, focus on your breath, you will feel some freedom, okay? I know that it's hard sometimes to accept some things, but you must accept them because that is what is, okay? I mean, if somebody runs you over in their car, you have to accept that you were run over in a car because that's what it is. And in this case, you have to accept that you are not a person. Because if you don't, then you're going to be trapped. And no one wants to be trapped. You don't want to be trapped. I don't want to be trapped. No one wants to be trapped. So, try and accept what is. Try and realize that you are not a person. You are a soul. And as a soul, you don't need anything. Okay? You don't need drugs. You don't need money. You don't need people. Because everything you could possibly want or need is right there inside of you. Okay? Now, I know if you're addicted to drugs, it's really hard to accept what it is I'm saying. Okay? But that's what you need to do. Okay? To get out, to get free. Which is what I'm really here to help you do, is to get free. Because if you're not free, then basically you're not alive. Okay? I mean, I know that's a hard thing to say, and it's a hard thing to realize, but that's what is. Okay? Now, one of the things that helped me realize this is when I realized that my life was over. Yeah, I thought my life was over. My wife left me, and I just had a terrible, divorce, and I just thought everything was ending. I thought there's nothing left. I'm going to have a horrible, miserable existence for the rest of my life, and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to live that way. At that moment, however, I luckily awakened, and you can too. Start with accepting, okay? And surrender to it, okay? It's not just accepting, but it's also surrendering. You need to surrender to what is, okay? And you need to let go of things that you're holding on to. And one of those things might be what you're addicted to, okay? So, if you're addicted to something, try and understand that the reason you're addicted to it is because you feel like there's a hole inside of you. You feel like there's a void that you're trying to fill, okay? That's why you need that thing, whatever it is, okay? So, accept what is, okay? And accept that you are a soul. And as a soul, you do not need anything. You do not need drugs. You do not need anything, okay? What you need is acceptance and surrender. Every day, we go out and we live our life, okay? And there's some things in this life that don't make us happy. There's some things in this life that make us sad, okay? And that makes the hole deeper. And that makes the addiction more, you know, intense. And it has more of a grab on you. It's grabbing onto you. Really, it's grabbing onto your mind. And so, in order to get free of that, you have to accept that you are not a person. You are a soul. And you have God in you. Okay? I know some of the stuff might be hard for you to accept, but that's just what is. And accepting what is really the main thing you have to do in order to get free. Okay? And freedom is so good. Okay? There's nothing in this world that is better than freedom, and that is, you know, the important thing to remember here is, okay, it's better than drugs, it's better than money, it's better than gambling, it's better than everything. Okay? All that stuff is simply a vicious circle that's not going anywhere. Okay? And you can change that by accepting who you are. Okay? Once you know who you are, once you have recognized that you are not a person, then the addiction will go. The addiction will flee. Okay? Well, clock on the wall is telling me it's time to go. I love you all because we are one. And that's what matters. We're not separate. I'm not separate from you. You're not separate from me because we all are souls. And so anyway, I love you all. As I said, please have a great Christmas because that's what it is. It's Christmas Eve. And remember who you are. Have a great life. Bye.